Well, folks, I'm actually about to give Donald Trump credit for something. I'm going to admit that there is one thing that he's really good at. Yeah, you heard me correctly. Donald Trump is an absolute master at humiliating the United States of America on the world stage. I have never seen anyone do it quite like he can do it. Don't worry, I'm not going to sit and show you the clips of him at the Pope's funeral because that truly was embarrassing. It truly was humiliating. He shows up in a blue suit after the dress code was black suits. He dozes off during the middle of the funeral. For years, all we heard about was Sleepy Joe, and then he goes and dozes off at the Pope's funeral, and I'm sure someone out there will say, well, he was just resting his eyes, or he was just tired, or he's getting old. I mean, can't really give him a hard time. They will always find a way to condone this dude, and they will still look to him like he's going to be their knight in shining armor, when all he really does worth anything is just humiliate himself, humiliate the United States, and humiliate his followers, which they are completely numb to it at this point. I don't even think it could register, especially when they read something like this that I'm about to read to you, and they flex, and they are. They're excited. They can't wait because Donald Trump is going to bring back Christopher Columbus. Yeah, you heard that right. This is what he actually posted. He posted this on April 27th, 2025, and it's got 1 million views. I'm bringing back Columbus Day from the ashes. The Democrats did everything possible to destroy Christopher Columbus, his reputation, and all of the Italians that love him so much. They tore down his statues and put up nothing but woke, or even worse, nothing at all. Well, you'll be happy to know that Christopher is going to make a major comeback. I'm hereby reinstating Columbus Day under the same rules, dates, and times as it has been for many decades before. And folks, there are people out there who will read that and get all excited. And to them, I would say this. How's that going to help you take care of your family? How's that going to help you put food on your table? Did it get you a lower grocery bill? Did it make eggs cheaper? Did it bring gas prices down? Did it do anything that you've been sitting there hoping and waiting for? You see, Donald Trump absolutely leaned into the culture wars. And he played those. And people like us tried to point out that those culture wars didn't actually have any value and didn't actually help anyone with their day-to-day lives. And we tried to read from Project 2025 and basically wave the big giant red flags that, hey, this stuff doesn't look good at all. This is what they're wanting to do if they get power back, and it's exactly what they're doing now. So now we're in the phase of we told you so. We're in the fuck around and found out stage now. But he leaned into those culture wars, and all the podcasters leaned into it, and all of the ministers across this world, and all the preachers, and all the evangelicals, they leaned into it because they realized that if you can win the culture war, then you can pretty much win it all. And you can get people to look away, and you can get people to be distracted. Now, I know that you all that follow this channel and are like-minded people, I know that you're not distracted. I know that you're absolutely paying attention to what's going on because I read your emails. Sorry I can't reply to every single one, but I read those emails and I know that you all are paying attention. And I know that you're not distracted. So I don't necessarily think when people says this is about distraction that that's actually accurate. I think what it's more about is Donald Trump and his cronies keeping control. And they know that their base is a base of people who votes on feelings and not facts. They vote on emotions instead of evidence, and they prove that time and time again. Every time they fought a culture war, I was here trying to say to them, but how does that make your life better? Other than you flexed on Facebook about it. How did that help you feed your family? How did that give you a living wage? How did that help you with your health care? How did that help anything that we're up against? It didn't. None of those things helped, and this don't either. It does absolutely nothing for no one. And as those of us grew up and we began to study history and we began to dig into people like Christopher Columbus and into people like Robert E. Lee, and he's a big one here in the South, but when we started digging into these people, we found out a lot of things about them that we didn't like, and we called it out as such. And we weren't trying to erase history. I'm not a believer in that. I don't believe that you erase history. But I also believe that certain people just do not deserve to be glorified, and certain people doesn't deserve a statue. And I don't think that a statue is the be-all, end-all as to where you study history. Because you could stick up statues of assholes from one end of this country to the other. It ain't going to change the fact that they were assholes. And so as we grew up, we found out a lot of things about these historical figures, and we called it out as such. Then they turned around and accused us of being woke, and they're trying to rewrite history. No, we're trying to learn history, and we realized that there were a lot of people out there that were trying to distort our history. And we realized that they were trying to sweep things under the rug and whitewash our history. And when I heard people like Ron DeSantis saying that black people benefited from slavery, yeah, we call bullshit on that. We absolutely did. But they realized if we fight these culture wars and we get everyone fighting amongst themselves, and if we can make our base believe that they're persecuted, if we can make our base believe that they're the ones that's being done wrong, and they're the ones that's being held captive, and they're the ones that's the patriot, and they're the ones that is the hostage, if we can get them to believing that they're fighting for a cause, they will absolutely empty their pockets for us. It's like that old LBJ quote. I can't get it exactly right. Every time I try to, if I was just sitting on a bar stool, I probably would just rattle it off like nothing. But it's when he said, if you can convince the poorest white man that he is better than the smartest black man, then he will not only do anything you tell you, but he'll empty his pockets out for you. And that's exactly what we've seen. I saw people in my part of the world, and yeah, they were struggling. They still are. They still are even now, even though they're flexing about Columbus coming back. They're still struggling. But I saw people struggle. I saw people have a hard time. I saw people lose things and have a hard time getting back on their feet. We tried every way in the world to help them and get them back on their feet. And they continued to vote for this crap, and they did it so they could get on Facebook and flex at people like me and go, we brought back Columbus. Okay, how's Mama? How's she doing? How's her cancer treating her? How's that going for her at the moment? Oh, you ain't got health care? Your guy's got concepts of a plan. Congratulations on being an idiot. The reason why that I keep circling back to these stories, and I know some people say, Brando, why do you focus on these culture wars? Because I'm trying to get people to see that this is absolutely ridiculous. We want to see people have a living wage. We want to see people be able to afford to pay their bills, to be able to afford to invest in a retirement, to be able to afford to take their families on vacations. We want to see people have health care. We think that is a right that people should have. Every other country in the world has it, and we don't. We think we should. We think people should have an absolute living wage. Did I say that already? We believe that the environment should be clean and taken care of. We believe that real, honest-to-God criminals should be kept in prison and not pardoned. And we believe that people coming here to this country to seek a better way should be allowed to do so. And we believe that women should have control over their own medical decisions. And we believe that gay and trans people should be able to live their lives the way that they were born to live it. And that ain't a radical idea in my mind. Anyone that wants to say I'm radical left, you don't know me. And anyone that wants to say that Joe Biden is radical left, that's laughable. To the ones that said him and Kamala Harris was radical left, yeah, anyone with a grain of political sense was laughing at you. Hell, I don't even consider Bernie and AOC to be radical left. I think radical left is a word that Bill Maher sits and strokes himself and says at night and thinks that that's some kind of boogeyman that's coming after everybody when it's not. The real boogeyman is already in power. They're already there, and they're already taking every one of the cleaners. But hey, don't worry, we're bringing back Columbus. Well, I don't want to bring the dude back. I mean, we made it here. We're here now. We don't have to glorify him. We don't have to glorify Jefferson Davis either. We don't have to glorify Robert E. Lee. I'm from the South, but I don't think those men deserve a statue. And I don't think I'm rewriting history if I say I want to take it down and not honor assholes like that. So, folks, I appreciate your support here on the channel. As mad and as frustrated as these people around here make me, what you got to understand is deep down I grew up with them. I saw how hard they struggled. I see how hard they're still struggling. And I care about them and just want them to wake up. Yeah, I want you to be woke. I do. I want you to be woke to what's going on around you. And I want you to be able to point back to assholes in history as such, even when it was us. I want you to point back to that. And I want you to realize that you're being played by this dude. And when you're sitting around trying to figure your bills, or your daughter's bleeding out in the hospital room, or your gay or trans loved one is sitting in a prison cell, and you're sitting there going, how did this happen? Well, you got Columbus back. So good luck with that.